Welcome back to the channel. Today we're counting down the top most valuable USA coins ever sold at auction, and let me tell you, these prices are absolutely mind-blowing. If you have any of these coins, you might just be sitting on a fortune. Let's jump right in. First up, the 1943 Lincoln Steel penny. Specifically, we're focusing on the one without a mint mark and in dirty condition. So, what's it worth in today's market? Stick around to find out. First, a little background. In 1943, during World War II, the US Mint made pennies from steel coated with zinc instead of copper, which was needed for the war effort. This is why 1943 pennies have that distinct silvery look. If you come across one without a mint mark, that means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't include a mint mark on coins at that time. But what if your 1943 steel penny is in dirty or poor condition? Maybe it's tarnished, rusty, or has seen better days. Let's talk value. Now, in today's market, condition plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. Clean, pristine examples can fetch higher prices, but what about those that are worn or even dirty? In this case, if your 1943 steel penny without mint mark is in dirty condition, the value isn't as high as mint state versions, but it still has some worth. In dirty or circulated condition, these coins generally sell for around $0.10 to $0.50. But keep in mind, even though the value is relatively low, the historical significance makes it a fascinating piece to add to any collection. That said, if you find one in slightly better condition or clean it up a bit, it might be worth a bit more, especially if there are collectors interested in completing their 1943 penny set. And don't forget, always check auction sites or coin dealers for specific listings. Sometimes, a rare variety or error in the coin can boost the value even for dirty or worn pieces. So there you have it. A 1943 Lincoln Steel penny without a mint mark in dirty condition is generally valued between 10 cents to 50 cents in today's market. While it's not a fortune, owning a piece of history from World War II is pretty priceless in itself. First up, the 1974 silver Washington quarter dollar with D-mint mark. We'll explore its value in today's auction market, especially in dirty condition. So, let's get started. The 1974 silver Washington quarter is part of a long-standing series that honors our first president, George Washington. This particular coin features the D-mint mark, which indicates it was minted in Denver. The coin is composed of 75% silver and 25% copper, giving it a distinct value that's tied to the precious metal market. When it comes to coin collecting, the condition of a coin plays a crucial role in its value. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. In our case, we're looking at a dirty condition coin, which typically means it has noticeable wear, tarnish, or grime. Dirty coins can significantly affect the market value. Collectors often prefer coins in cleaner condition, but there's still a niche market for coins with character, especially for those who appreciate history and the stories they tell. So, what's the current market value of a 1974 D silver Washington quarter in dirty condition as of today? Auction prices for these coins can vary widely, but you can generally expect values to range from $5 to $10 depending on the extent of dirt and wear. However, in some auctions, especially if the coin is part of a unique lot, you might see bids go higher. If you happen to have one of these coins, remember not to clean it. Cleaning can diminish the coin's value. Instead, store it properly to preserve its condition as much as possible. If you're looking to sell, consider auctioning it, as is to attract collectors who might value its history. Next up, the 1943 Lincoln Steel penny, but this time, we're focusing on the one with the D-mint mark and in damaged condition. Curious to know its value in today's market. Let's dive right in. As some of you may know, 1943 was a special year for pennies. The US Mint switched from copper to steel due to copper shortages during World War II. The result, these silver-looking steel pennies. If your coin has a D-mint mark, that means it was struck at the Denver Mint. But what if your 1943 steel penny has seen better days? If it's in damaged condition, maybe it's rusty, scratched, or bent. How much is it worth? Let's break it down. Now, for a steel penny with D-mint mark, the condition of the coin heavily affects its value. While pennies in mint condition or uncirculated examples can fetch a nice price, a damaged coin's value is going to be on the lower end. So in today's market, a 1943 Lincoln steel penny with D-mint mark in damaged condition typically sells for around $0.10 to $0.30. Yes, it's a small amount, but collectors and history buffs might still find interest in owning one of these coins for its unique story. However, keep in mind, some collectors might be on the lookout for error coins or specific varieties, so it's always a good idea to check auction sites or consult a professional dealer just in case. If you think your damaged penny might have a minting error or any other unusual feature, it could boost the value, even if the coin is in poor shape. Errors like double die strikes or off-center coins can still be worth more. To wrap it up, while a 1943 steel penny with D-mint mark in damaged condition won't make you rich, it can still bring around 10 to 30 cents in today's market. Not a bad deal for a small piece of World War II history. Next up, the 1970 Washington quarter dollar with D-mint mark. This one's in damaged condition, but don't worry, we'll still discuss its history, features, and most importantly, its value in today's auction market. Ready, let's jump right in. The Washington Quarter series has been a mainstay in U.S. coinage since 1932, honoring the first president of the United States, George Washington. The 1970 quarter, like those minted after 1965, was no longer struck in silver. Instead, it's made of a copper-nickel composition. Specifically, the D-mint mark indicates this coin was minted in Denver, and while these quarters aren't rare in uncirculated or circulated condition, collectors are still interested in coins from this era for various reasons, including completing collections. Now let's talk about the condition of this particular 1970 quarter. It's in damaged condition, which means it has noticeable defects like heavy scratches, dents, discoloration, or possibly even corrosion. Coins in damaged condition have significant wear or physical damage that can drastically reduce their value. However, even damaged coins have a place in the numismatic world, especially if you're looking to complete a collection without spending top dollar. It's important to remember that while damaged coins don't command the highest prices, they're still valued by collectors who seek out affordable pieces. So what's a 1970 Washington quarter dollar with a D-mint mark in damaged condition worth in today's auction market? Typically, these coins go for $6 to $8, depending on the extent of the damage and the buyer's interest. Even in damaged condition, you might be able to sell your coin for a few dollars. Keep in mind that collectors often look for these coins as gap fillers in their collections, so there's still demand even for quarters that have seen better days. While the value of a damaged 1970 quarter may not be sky high, there are still a few things to keep in mind. First, the extent of the damage plays a major role. Coins with minimal wear or damage may still hold a bit more value than those that are heavily defaced. And of course, presentation matters. Even if your coin is damaged, storing it properly in a coin holder or flip can help prevent further degradation and preserve whatever value it has. If you're looking to buy or sell a damaged quarter, check online auction sites like eBay or visit a local coin shop. You might be surprised at the prices collectors are willing to pay, even for coins in less than perfect condition. Next up, the 1943 Lincoln steel penny, focusing on the version with the S-mint mark in fine condition. Curious about its value in today's market? Stay tuned and let's break it down. So let's start with a bit of history. In 1943, during World War II, the US Mint produced pennies using steel coated with zinc instead of the usual copper. The copper was needed for the war effort, so the result was the unique silver-colored steel penny. If your 1943 penny has an S-mint mark, that means it was minted in San Francisco. Now, what does fine condition mean? A coin in fine condition shows moderate wear, but still retains most of its major details. The coin will have some smoothness, but you can clearly see key features like Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalks on the reverse side. Alright, let's get to what you're all here for: the value of your 1943 steel penny with an S-mint mark in fine condition. In today's market, these coins are valued anywhere between $0.50 to $1.50 depending on the exact condition and demand. In fine condition, it's not rare enough to bring in a huge amount of money, but it's still a nice piece to have, especially if you're a fan of World War II era coins. If you're lucky, you could find a buyer willing to pay a little more if the coin has excellent eye appeal. Now, prices can fluctuate depending on where you're selling. Online auctions and coin dealers are great places to check current values. Sometimes collectors pay a premium for a coin that helps complete their set. But don't forget to look closely for any errors or special characteristics, like doubling or striking errors. These can increase your coin's value significantly, even if it's in fine condition. So there you have it. If you have a 1943 Lincoln steel penny with an S mint mark in fine condition, you're looking at a value of around 50 cents to $1.50 in today's market. It's a great addition to any collection. Next up, the 1969 Washington quarter dollar, specifically one without mint mark and in extra fine condition. We'll take a close look at its history, design, and most importantly, what it's worth in today's auction market. Let's get into it. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since 1932. The 1969 quarter, like its predecessors, features George Washington's profile on the obverse and a majestic eagle on the reverse. What's interesting about this coin is that there's no mint mark. That means it was minted in Philadelphia, which at that time didn't stamp a mint mark on quarters. While this coin might look similar to other quarters, the year 1969 marked a significant period in American numismatics, as the composition of these coins had already shifted from silver to a copper-nickel alloy starting in 1965. Now, let's talk about the condition of this 1969 quarter. The coin we're focusing on today is in extra fine condition. This means it's seen some circulation, but most of its design elements are still sharp and well-defined. In extra fine condition, you'll notice only slight wear on the high points of the coin, such as Washington's hairline and the eagle's feathers. Coins in this condition are quite attractive for collectors who want a high-quality specimen without paying top dollar for a mint state example. So what's the value of a 1969 Washington quarter without a mint mark in extra fine condition? Well, because this quarter isn't made of silver and has a higher mintage, its value isn't sky high. However, these coins can still fetch between $1 and $5 in today's auction market. As always, the exact price depends on demand, the appearance of the coin, and whether you're selling to a dedicated Washington quarter collector. While this coin may not break the bank, it's still an essential piece for those completing a Washington quarter set. While the 1969 Washington quarter without mint mark may not be a rare find, its condition plays a huge role in its value. If you've got one in extra fine condition, be sure to store it properly to preserve that detail. Always store your coins in protective holders or capsules to prevent additional wear or damage. And remember, avoid cleaning your coins, as this can significantly reduce their value if you're looking to sell a 1969 quarter. Consider auction sites, local coin shops, or online coin forums. You might even find collectors who are willing to pay a little extra for a quarter that completes their collection. Next up, the 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny with D mint mark. Specifically, we're talking about its value in very fine condition. How much is it worth in today's market? Let's jump right in and find out. So, what's special about the 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny after World War II, the US? Mint returned to producing pennies in copper, and the wheat penny design was still going strong. If your coin has a D mint mark, that means it was minted in Denver. But what does very fine condition mean for a coin? A penny in very fine condition has light wear, with most of the details still clearly visible. You should be able to easily identify Lincoln's features, as well as the wheat stalks on the reverse. Overall, the coin has a nice look, despite showing some circulation. Now, let's get to the main question: how much is a 1947 wheat penny with D mint mark worth in very fine condition in today's market? This coin generally sells for around $0.15 to $0.50. While it's not a high-value coin compared to some rare pennies, its price can vary depending on its eye appeal and how much demand there is from collectors. You can always check auction sites or visit a local coin dealer to see if you can get a slightly higher price, especially if your penny has particularly good detail or toning. Some collectors may be looking to complete a specific year set, which can drive the value up a little. Another thing to keep in mind: always check for any minting errors or unusual characteristics. Double dies, off-center strikes, or other errors can significantly increase the coin's value, even if it's in a circulated state. So to sum it up, if you have a 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny with D mint mark in very fine condition, you're looking at a value of around 15 to 50 cents in today's market. It may not be worth a fortune, but it's a great coin with historical significance and a perfect piece to add to your collection. Next up, the 1991 silver Washington quarter dollar with a P mint mark. Specifically, we'll look at its value in today's auction market, especially when it's in dirty condition. So, let's get started. The 1991 Washington quarter is part of a long-running series that honors our first president, George Washington. This coin features his iconic profile on the obverse side and an eagle on the reverse. While this coin is significant in American numismatics, it's important to note that the 1991 quarters, including the ones with P mint mark from Philadelphia, are not silver. This particular quarter is made of a copper-nickel alloy, which means it has a different composition than earlier quarters minted in silver. However, collectors still appreciate it for its design and the history behind it. When evaluating any coin, the condition is crucial. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. In our focus today, we're discussing a coin in dirty condition. This typically indicates that the coin has accumulated grime, tarnish, or other residues that affect its visual appeal. A dirty coin can lower its market value, as many collectors prefer cleaner specimens. However, some collectors are drawn to coins that tell a story, so there can still be interest even in a less than ideal condition. So, what's the current market value of a 1991 piece silver Washington quarter in dirty condition? As of today, you can expect these coins to fetch between $2 and $4 at auction. The price can vary based on factors like the amount of dirt, overall wear, and whether the coin is part of a larger lot. It's worth noting that while this coin may not break the bank, it's still a valuable addition for collectors interested in the Washington Quarter series. If you own a 1991 P Washington quarter in dirty condition, consider these tips. First, avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can diminish its value even further. Instead, store it properly in a protective holder to prevent further dirt accumulation. Also, if you're thinking about selling, present the coin in its current condition. Many collectors appreciate coins with character, even if they're not in perfect shape. Next up, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny without mint mark in a brown color shade and dirty condition. How much is this coin worth in today's market? Stick around to find out. First, let's talk a bit about the 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny. This was the final year that the wheat ears design appeared on U.S. pennies before the switch to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. If your coin doesn't have a mint mark, it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, let's discuss the coin's condition. In this case, the penny has a brown color shade, which is common due to natural oxidation over time, and it's in dirty condition. This means the coin has noticeable wear and tarnish, and it's seen a lot of circulation. So what's the value of a 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in today's market in dirty condition with a brown color? This coin typically ranges in value from $0.02 to $0.10. While this coin isn't rare, its value can still fluctuate slightly depending on demand from collectors. For example, people collecting a full set of wheat pennies may pay a small premium even for circulated, dirty condition coins like this one. If you're thinking about selling, check sites like eBay or visit your local coin shop for current prices. Though it's not a high-value coin, these pennies are still popular among collectors due to their historical significance. One thing to watch out for, however, are errors. A 1958 penny with an error like a double die or off-center strike can be worth much more, even in dirty or brown condition. So there you have it. A 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in dirty condition and a brown color shade is worth around 2 to 10 cents in today's market. It may not be a big payday, but it's still a key piece of American history. Next up, the 1974 Washington quarter dollar, specifically one without a mint mark and in very fine condition. We'll be exploring its history, condition, and of course, its value in today's auction market. So, let's get started. The Washington Quarter series started in 1932, and since then, it has become one of the most recognized coins in U.S. currency. The 1974 quarter, like most minted after 1965, is not made of silver but a copper-nickel alloy. This particular coin features George Washington on the obverse and an American bald eagle on the reverse, which are iconic images of U.S. coinage. What's interesting about the 1974 quarter is the absence of a mint mark. This means it was minted in Philadelphia, which didn't add mint marks to quarters at the time. Even though it's not a rare coin, it still holds interest, especially for collectors completing Washington quarter sets. So, what does it mean when a coin is in very fine condition? Well, a quarter in very fine condition shows some signs of wear, but the major details of the coin's design are still sharp and visible. You'll see light wear on the high points, like Washington's hair and the eagle's wings, but the finer details are still intact. Very fine condition means the coin has been circulated, but it's still in great shape for collectors. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. What's the value of a 1974 Washington quarter without a mint mark in very fine condition in today's auction market? In today's auction market, a 1974 quarter in very fine condition typically sells for between $4 and $7. This coin isn't made of silver, so its value primarily depends on its condition and the demand among collectors. Although it may not fetch a huge price, these coins are still sought after by collectors who are looking to complete their Washington quarter sets or who appreciate historical coinage. The price can also fluctuate depending on the market and collector interest. Condition is a key factor when determining the value of a coin. The difference between a quarter in very fine condition and one in extra fine or uncirculated condition can be significant. As you can see, uncirculated quarters, which show no signs of wear, can sell for much more than circulated coins like this one. If you're holding onto a very fine coin, it's important to store it properly to maintain its condition and avoid further wear. Always recommend storing coins in protective holders or capsules to prevent additional damage or wear. It can make a big difference when it comes time to sell or trade. If you're looking to buy or sell a 1974 Washington quarter in very fine condition, your best options are online auction platforms like eBay or specialized coin forums. You can also check out local coin shops, but keep in mind that prices can vary based on location and demand. Make sure to compare prices across different platforms to get the best deal, whether you're a buyer or a seller. Even small differences in condition can affect a coin's final value. That wraps up today's video. We've covered the value of the 1974 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark in very fine condition and explored what it's worth in today's auction market. Next up, the value of a 1937 Lincoln Wheat penny with an S mint mark in extra fine condition. How much is this coin worth in today's market? Let's get started and find out. The 1937 Lincoln Wheat penny is a great coin for collectors. The S mint mark means it was struck at the San Francisco Mint, which generally produced fewer pennies than the Philadelphia Mint, making these S pennies more desirable to collectors. Now let's talk about extra fine condition. In this grade, the coin shows very light wear, but most of the details are crisp and clear. Lincoln's profile is sharp, and the wheat stalks on the reverse still have clear lines, making this a highly collectible coin. Now, for the big question, what's it worth? A 1937 Lincoln Wheat penny with an S mint mark in extra fine condition typically sells for between $2 and $5 in today's market. This value reflects the coin's condition and the S mint mark, which adds a premium because it was minted in lower quantities compared to pennies from Philadelphia. You can always check online auction sites or visit a local coin dealer to get a more accurate idea of the current market. Sometimes you might find these coins selling for a little more depending on demand, especially if the coin has strong visual appeal. And don't forget, check for any minting errors. Errors like double dies or repunched mint marks can add a significant boost to the coin's value, even in circulated or lightly worn condition. So to sum it up, if you have a 1937 Lincoln Wheat penny with an S mint mark in extra fine condition, you're looking at a value of around $2 to $5 in today's market. It's a solid piece for any collection, especially for fans of San Francisco minted coins. Next up, the 1991 silver Washington quarter dollar with D mint mark. We'll explore its history, examine its fine condition, and discuss what it's worth in today's auction market. Let's dive right in. The 1991 Washington quarter is a significant piece of American currency, featuring the iconic profile of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. It's a part of a long-standing series that has been cherished by collectors since its introduction in 1932. This quarter carries the D mint mark, indicating it was minted in Denver. Unlike earlier quarters made of silver, the 1991 Washington quarter is composed of a copper-nickel alloy. While it may not contain silver, it still holds value in the numismatic community. When discussing coin value, condition plays a crucial role. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. A coin in fine condition typically shows some wear but retains much of its design and detail. In fine condition, you can expect to see clear details on both the obverse and reverse, though the coin may have light scratches and some wear, particularly on the high points. Collectors often seek out coins in fine condition for their collections because they represent a good balance of affordability and quality. Now, let's talk about the current market value of the 1991 D Silver Washington Quarter in fine condition. As of today, these coins generally sell for about $3 to $6 at auction, depending on the specifics of the coin and the current market demand. Values can fluctuate based on the overall demand for Washington quarters and the availability of similar coins. Always keep an eye on recent auction results for the most accurate pricing. If you have a 1991 D Washington Quarter in fine condition, here are some tips to keep in mind. First, store it properly in a coin holder to protect it from scratches and dirt. This will help maintain its value over time. Next up, the value of a 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny without mint mark in very fine condition. How much is this penny worth in today's market? Let's dive right in. First, a quick history. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny was produced during World War II. If your penny doesn't have a mint mark, it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced the largest quantity of pennies that year. But don't let that fool you. This coin is still very collectible. In very fine condition, your penny will have some light wear on the high points, but most of the details will still be sharp and visible. Lincoln's face will be clearly defined, and the wheat ears on the reverse will have visible lines, although some minor wear may be noticeable. Now, let's talk value. A 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny without mint mark in very fine condition is worth between $0.10 and $0.30 in today's market. The value range is fairly modest, but this penny still holds historical significance as part of the pre-war years in the US and can complete any wheat penny collection. If you're thinking of selling your coin, you can check auction sites or visit local coin shops to get an idea of current prices. Although it's not a rare coin, well-preserved specimens with strong eye appeal can sometimes fetch a bit more. One thing to keep in mind is to check for any potential errors or unusual minting characteristics. While the 1942 penny without a mint mark doesn't have many notable errors, any unique anomalies can increase its value, even in very fine condition. To sum it up, a 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition is typically worth between 10 and 30 cents in today's market. While not a rare or high-value coin, it's still a fun and affordable piece of history. Next up, the 1982 Silver Washington Quarter dollar with a D mint mark, particularly one in bad condition with a black color shade. We'll look at what this coin is worth in today's auction market. Let's get into it. The 1982 Silver Washington Quarter is part of a well-known series that celebrates George Washington. The D mint mark indicates this coin was minted in Denver. While it may not be the most famous date in the series, it still holds significance for collectors. When assessing a coin's value, the condition is paramount. Coins are graded from poor to mint state. In this case, we're focusing on a bad condition coin, which typically features heavy wear, scratches, and discoloration. Additionally, this quarter has a distinctive black color shade, which might be due to environmental exposure, tarnishing, or improper storage. While this may seem unappealing, some collectors are drawn to coins with unique appearances. So, what can you expect to get for a 1982 D Silver Washington Quarter in bad condition with a black color shade? Currently, auction prices for these coins vary, but you can typically see values ranging from $3 to $7. The price may dip lower for coins with significant damage or heavy tarnish. If you have one of these quarters, remember that while its condition might not fetch a high price, it still has value as part of your collection. Some collectors appreciate coins with a history, even if they show wear and tear. It's all about what speaks to you. Next up, the 1909 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark, and we'll find out its value in extra fine condition. Let's get started. The 1909 Lincoln Wheat penny is a significant coin in American history. It was the first year the Lincoln design was introduced, and if your penny doesn't have a mint mark, it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. This particular coin is highly sought after by collectors. In extra fine condition, this penny will show only minor wear. The details are still quite sharp, with Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalks on the reverse being clearly defined. You might see slight wear on the highest points, but overall it should look fantastic. So how much is a 1909 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark worth today in extra fine condition? You can expect to see values ranging from $5 to $20 in today's market, depending on the overall appeal and eye appeal of the coin. This range reflects the coin's historical significance as well as its demand among collectors. The better the condition and appearance, the closer it will be to that upper value range. If you're thinking of selling, be sure to check online auction sites or consult with local coin dealers for the most accurate pricing. These coins can sometimes fetch higher prices if there's a bidding war or if collectors are particularly interested in that specific year. Also, keep an eye out for any potential errors or varieties. Some 1909 pennies, like the VDB variety, can be worth significantly more due to their rarity. However, even without minting errors, a well-preserved 1909 penny is a fantastic find. To wrap things up, a 1909 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition is typically valued between $5 and $20 in today's market. This coin not only holds historical value but also represents a pivotal moment in American numismatic history. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe. Next up, the 1983 Washington quarter dollar with a P mint mark in fine condition. We'll cover its history, the condition grading, and most importantly, what it's worth in today's auction market. Stick around if you want to find out how much this coin could be worth in dollars. The Washington quarter has been an iconic part of U.S. coinage since its introduction in 1932. It was designed to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth and quickly became a collector favorite. Now, the 1983 Washington quarter with a P mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Unlike older Washington quarters, this one is composed of copper nickel instead of silver. However, this quarter still has value, especially to collectors. You'll notice the P mint mark right below George Washington's neck on the obverse side. This identifies the coin as having been produced in Philadelphia, and 1983 is one of the more interesting years because these quarters were heavily circulated, making higher quality examples harder to find. So what does it mean for a coin to be in fine condition? Well, a fine condition coin shows moderate wear across the higher points, but most of the major design features are still visible. On a 1983 Washington quarter in fine condition, you'll notice some flattening on Washington's hair, especially on the high points, and the details on the eagle's wings will also be a bit worn down. Despite this, the overall design is still clear, and the coin's value in fine condition reflects this level of circulation. While fine condition isn't the most pristine, it's still appealing to many collectors, particularly if they're looking to fill a spot in their Washington quarter set from 1983. Now, the big question: how much is a 1983 Washington quarter with a P mint mark in fine condition worth in today's auction market? Given that this quarter was heavily circulated and doesn't contain any silver, its value is mostly modest. In today's auction market, you can expect to see 1983 Washington quarters in fine condition selling for between $0.25 and $2.50. It's not a high-value coin, but it's still sought after by collectors for completing series or because of its historical significance. While the value isn't huge, coins like these still hold interest, especially if they're in good condition or have a unique history. Remember, quarters from 1983 weren't included in mint sets, which makes higher quality coins harder to come by. Another reason collectors seek out 1983 quarters is because no mint sets were produced that year. This led to fewer coins being saved in pristine condition, which makes higher quality examples more valuable today. If you're building a Washington quarter collection, finding coins from the early 1980s in fine or better condition can be a bit tricky, which adds to the value of these coins. Collectors appreciate these tougher-to-find pieces. Even if your 1983 Washington quarter isn't worth hundreds of dollars, it can still be a fun and interesting piece to add to your collection. If you're thinking of buying or selling a 1983 Washington quarter, your best bet is to check online platforms like eBay or coin-specific auction sites. Make sure to look at completed listings to get an idea of recent sale prices. As you can see, coins in fine condition tend to fall into that $0.25 to $2.50 range, but higher grade examples can sell for much more. Always do your research to ensure you're getting the best deal. And remember, if you're holding on to a 1983 quarter or any other collectible coin, make sure to store it properly to preserve its condition. Even minor scratches or wear can affect its value over time. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the latest coin collecting tips and updates. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.